Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about a gag order against Donald Trump. There are many in potential play. We're talking here about the New York case, and this is the one with where the judge has a law clerk, and and Trump indeed has moved for a mistrial, saying this law clerk is biased against him and is a co-judge. But the judge had entered a very limited gag order saying, don't be, getting sassy about my permanent law clerk, because Trump, in his Trumpian way, had talked about a picture at some fundraiser where she appears with Schumer, majority leader in the Senate, suggesting maybe they were in a relationship. He made a sort of cutting, caustic comment involving Justice Engoron and she, same kind of thing. And basically, they've made a big stink. They believe her to be very biased against them. She's made certain political contributions, though what they really represent is attendance at events, perfectly proper. But anyway, so they've moved for a mistrial based on that. But in the meantime, they've moved to appeal the gag order that Engoron put in place, this very limited thing saying, don't talk about my law clerk. She's getting a lot of threats, and you have no business doing it. And Trump proceeded to do it twice anyway, was fined twice, actually paid the fines of $15,000 or whatever. All right, so that's to set it up. The headline is, the gag order has been lifted. It has been stayed. Exactly the same thing has happened in D.C. And, Trump predictably and in his foul manner, as soon as it was, he triumphantly, defamed and disparaged and savaged the law clerk again. He said, Judge Arthur Engoron. By the way, a little note about that. I'm often calling him justice. That's actually the term that trial judges, the lowest level judges in New York, have. So anyway, you'll hear both judge and justice. Judge Arthur Engoron has just been overturned and then stayed, an exclamation point, by the New York State Appellate Division for the fourth time on the same case. His ridiculous and unconstitutional gag order not allowing me to defend myself against him and his politically biased and out of control Trump-hating clerk who is sinking him and his court to new levels of low is a disgrace. All right, so triumphant, same thing with his lawyer, Kai, so, the Constitution's been restored, etc. This is a huge, dramatic overreading of what's just happened. The same thing in D.C. Remember, in the D.C. court, the Court of Appeals put an administrative stay, and sometimes when there are stays, it's like an indication from the court they're going to reverse, but that's not how it works in the D.C. circuit. Same thing here. What happened is a single judge got this appeal from the gag order, and it's something that's going to be heard by 3 judges. So you've seen something like this at the Supreme Court level. One justice will enter a stay to sort of freeze the linebackers until the court as a whole can consider it. That's what's going on here. An interim stay says really nothing about the merits. The one thing, based on the little note written out by hand by the appellate judges, their constitutional rights involved. So I think that's part of the reason why he uses his discretion to say, okay, let's hold everything up here until the full court can review it. But it is not some indication that they're going to reverse the gag order. On the merits, it'll be kind of interesting. There was an oral argument at which the court seemed a little bit dubious that the insults to the law clerk actually endanger her. They're very insulting, but there was some questioning on that. On the other hand, as the attorney general who's bringing this civil case pointed out, and a separate lawyer for the judge when you have this kind of appeal of a gag order, said she's been totally pummeled with and drowned with really insulting and threatening tweets, including, she's Jewish, a lot of anti-Semitic ones. So it seems unlikely that the Court of Appeals, the Appellate Division is how they call it in New York, would just ignore it. But you could see that happening, or instructing him to make a little bit of maybe wait until there's some threat, but maybe not. The courts overall around the country have to be pretty damn skittish. Trump is out there saying stuff. Look no further than the David DePape case, the man who was convicted yesterday for bludgeoning Nancy Pelosi's husband with a hammer. He's just a guy who listened to all this rhetoric from Trump and right-wing sources and wound up, getting homicidal rage over it. So in the same way, I think it will be hard-pressed for the Appellate Division to sort of poo-poo all the insults that have been thrown the law clerk's way, the anti-Semitic stuff as well. So, it's maybe a 2-to-1 shot. I wouldn't be stunned if it goes the other way, but I think they will probably reinstate. The big point to note for today is this idea with Trump crowing about having it reversed. Oh, so by the way, Elise Stefanik, his crony in Congress, filed a complaint with the New York Ethics Commission about the law clerk, and she's taking some credit for what happened. I think it, just totally a non-event, just a political kind of strutting on her part. Anyway, the basic stance for now: no gag order in place, and Trump being over the top, Trump totally insulting the judge, the law clerk, the process, etc., in a way that should give any appellate judge real pause. But the stay now is just so a three-judge panel can consider it fully, not a telegraph on the merits, and that we'll see in pretty short order whether they're going to endorse this, to my mind, very sort of narrow, just don't mess with my law clerk gag order. So stay tuned. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.